Okay, y'all, time to tap in to some spiritual guidance. This is the one card that popped out. Let's get into what spiritual guidance that you need, whether you need to be listening to your ancestors, clairaudience, like getting the message in stereo, or if you are someone that picks up on signs and signals and you're into interpreting signals, it's time to really hone in on your spiritual gifts, okay? You can trust your judgment. This is about you. You're not having to read anybody else. You're not having to get the downloads and deliver a message. This is about you and coming to conclusions for your own life. If you're wanting some sort of guidance for yourself, if you're wanting help with discernment or even directions for your future, like what steps you need to take to get to where you want to go, because we all have this big goal vision for where we want to be in life, but we all get confused about like what path we should take at times and like what direction we should go in. And so we look to our guides and say, give me some direction, give me a sign, tell me something, right? And so if you have asked for a sign recently, this is it. I'm not going to tell you what you need to do, but I'm going to tell you how to lock in to the environment around you, or to how to find that stillness within, so you can open yourself up to messages from God and from your spirit team, from your ancestors. Okay, and you can get messages. I'm on a tangent now, because you can get messages in any sort of way. You want to throw some rocks and sticks that you found at the beach on the ground and see what meaning you see in that. That's a sign. That's a message. You can read intuitively anything that you find meaningful. And I was just going to say an aside, I will say, when you don't try to force the answer, if you want an answer, especially when it's like, is this the love of my life? Is this going to be the person? And you're like, show me a white wall if this is my person. Okay, like that's not what we're talking about. But when you do instinctively feel these messages coming through, you've gone through an awakening. You have gone through a process of purification, of clearing out your mind from all sorts of external conditioning. You've done all that. You know this, but sometimes you need to hear it out loud from somebody else to really believe it and be convicted of it. So know that you've gone through this awakening, and you have the ability to draw your own conclusions and to be your own spiritual guide, or to receive your own spiritual messages. Okay, that's so important. And I know with all of this stuff, it's hard to always trust your spiritual message. If you want to book a reading with me, I do 45-minute one-on-ones or 20-minute readings. And sometimes I'll say, don't even ask me a question. Don't say anything. I'll read the cards and you see if it lines up with what you've been done, get the downloads that you've been getting, right? Because that's just helps to confirm what you were already suspecting or hypothesizing. So I'm available for that. There's a link in my bio. Is anything else want to come up? Ooh. Or wands, celebrate. Okay. And so if maybe you don't feel like, hang on, two more. If you feel a little separated or disconnected spiritually, and yet you've had this awakening, and it's kind of, you may be feeling like, well, where are all the aha moments? Where are all the signs? Come on, Courtney, like, be real with me. And you feel this, like, a little bit of pessimism. That's where you really got to lock in and be more assertive with the way you interpret these messages, because they come in. It's just a matter of like, how confidently can you read them? How confidently can you interpret them without bias? Okay. And we're all guilty of putting our own biases on things because we want things to work out for us. But you independently have the skill to interpret your messages, your spiritual messages that are coming to you from your guides. But there may be some blocks because it doesn't come as easily, the heavens opening and the voice of God speaking to you. It may not be like that. And so then it becomes more clouded and more uncertain, and we always want validation, or we want some external validation. So be aware of the cynicism. You don't have to judge it. You don't have to get rid of it. Just be aware of it and keep going. Keep trying. Keep trying. And you don't have to be 100% right all the time. That's what, again, love to journal, because when you write, then you can always go back and reflect. And so you can see, well, dang, I wrote all like that I interpreted of what I thought was going on in my life, and now I can look back 3 years later and say, oh my gosh, like it all really came true. I really knew what I was talking about. I was really picking up, and that again will give you the confidence. This was a message to tell you that you have the ability to tap into your own spiritual guidance. If you want to meet with someone like me or with a tarot reader and have them give you some affirmations, or to see, if your stories line up, I love doing that. Do it. Book a link in the bio. Otherwise, you got this.